Emergency Security and Voluntary Services of Ireland turned out in force in Dublin City Centre on Saturday, September 5th, as part of the FESSEF Parade and Open Day. FESSEF is the Frontline Emergency Security Services Era Forum, and the events of the day involved all the main frontline emergency services, Irish Prison Service and the voluntary services. Minister for Transport Paschal Donoghue called the parade and walked the route along Dublin's O'Connell Street before greeting the various services as they entered Trinity College. The services involved were An Garda Síochána, the National Ambulance Service, Dublin Fire Brigade, the Defence Forces, Irish Prison Services, the Irish Coast Guard, RNLI, Civil Defence, Order of Malta, Irish Red Cross, St John Ambulance Service, Veteran Services and Dublin Airport's Fire and Police Services.
We have a very high level of integration and cooperation amongst all our services, and it's something that I've seen again and again as Minister, that when our services are dealing with emergencies, there's a very high level of integration and cooperation that I think would always evolve because of the professionalism that does take place and is there amongst all our services. But more importantly, it's always planned for, so that when an incident does emerge that needs a multi-agency response, the plans are always in place, the command structures are in place to trigger that. And I have a particular appreciation of that because of what happens in our coasts, where I see the Coast Guard and the cooperation and reliance they have with lots of different agencies. That happens week after week after week.
Dublin Fire Brigade provided demonstrations to members of the public.
Okay folks, so we're starting to lower now, so the patient and the paramedic are on our system and he's been lowered in a controlled manner from the top down. Managing the patient all the way down, looking after his airway, making sure he's still stable. Okay, so James, a little bit of further information about the patient, okay? So the patient has woken up, was unconscious, has now woken up and is feeling nauseous and thinks he wants to vomit. So we have to manage that situation. We can't allow him to vomit while he's on his back because it could be dangerous, it could choke, it could aspirate his own vomit. So the paramedic is going to have to manage that. Probably going to have to turn the patient over on its side in order to clear that out, re-maintain the airway, reposition the patient and then continue with the extrication.
We've got two Highline rescue teams and you'll see a demonstration of the work that they actually do today here in Trinity. So this is an opportunity to see some of the full range of services that we provide in supporting public safety in the city. It's also an opportunity, I think, for the public to see all the other agencies, and particularly the volunteer agencies. And Dublin Fire Brigade, for example, will work very closely with Civil Defence, which is a totally volunteer organisation. So it's an opportunity for us to show the public what we do, and also for the public to see what we do, and also learn something about fire safety, which is a very, very important aspect of fire. It's not all about response. If we can get people to, be more careful in their habits at home and learn basic drills, then obviously they can help themselves in the event that there is actually a fire.
The National Ambulance Service displayed some of their vehicles and equipment. They also held a competition to see who could get the highest compressions. Lawrence Kenna is training officer with the National Ambulance Service.
Lawrence, basically what it does is it measures the depth of compression, the release of compression and the speed of compression, because there's a lot of emphasis now in resuscitation on the effectiveness of compression. So to the extent that they say that initially for resuscitation we talk about the 3 C's: to check the patient, check for responsiveness, if they're not responsive and they're not breathing, to call for help, so you call the emergency services, and then to start compressions.
Oh, absolutely! 100%! Good man, well done!
That's my coaching. Well done.
Where's the knife tonight? So what was he doing? We were measuring the effectiveness of CPR with the public. So he got 100%. It was absolutely excellent.
And what was the rate of scores during the course of the day?
It was anything from about 20% to probably about 95%. So probably the average was probably about 40 to 50%.
Very good.
The day of the event was a busy day for Gardaí overall, with GAA matches being held at Croke Park and the Electric Picnic Festival being held in Stradbally-County-Laois. There was a limited number of Garda resources and national units available for the day. However, Gardaí did provide a lot of information to the public. There was also a special surprise in store for these newlyweds, as the Garda Traffic Corps provided them with a Garda escort from Trinity College out of the city.
We had 56 members on parade, and we had a selection just of vehicles and tents from our K9 unit, which is our victim recovery dog, our command and control, operational support. We also have our quadcopter that we would use on search and rescue operations as well. At present we're at our quota. We've 462 volunteers. We took in 172 new recruits in February of this year. Without our volunteers giving up their time freely, we would not be able to provide this function. And the amount of time that our volunteers put in training and then in operational duties. We would average about 40 events a month and one search and rescue operation a month in Dublin. Plus Max, our victim recovery dog, is used around the country as well. It's relatively new to Dublin, and that we have it 2 years now, and through the Peggy Mangan Foundation donated the dog, because the dog is probably about €10,000, and but we were very lucky with our handler Michael.
And is it a cadaver? Is that
It is. It's a human remains dog. It's a victim recovery. In total, we have 5 dogs nationally in civil defence. We have 2 victim recovery and 3 air sense dogs.
The Defence Forces were on hand with their OED unit, which is used to deal with suspicious devices and carry out controlled explosions. Owen Marin is an artist from Maynooth, County Kildare. He took a special interest in the protective gear used by the Army.
Well, it's really important now, and it's more evident every day that life jackets save lives. And it's important that people, when they take to the water, one is they wear a life jacket, they're in a suitable vessel for the journey they're going to do, they tell people where they're going and what time they're going to be back, and maybe get some training as well on the sea, VHF training, how to use radios. And it's very important now to be safe on the water, and I think what's happened in Kilmore Quay, although sadly 1 life was lost, 9 people were saved because they were wearing life jackets. It would have been a terrible tragedy if those people weren't wearing life jackets. They were 5 hours in the water, and those life jackets saved their lives. That was really important, that somebody knew they weren't back when they were due back. So the rescue operation was then launched. Lifeboats were launched, Coast Guard units were launched, and the helicopter was launched. And they were found fairly quickly because they knew the area where they would be. But they'd been in the water for 5 hours, but they had life jackets on. So it just goes to show the life jacket will save your life.
Planning for this event took many months of work and involved all the main services and stakeholders. The location for this event, the event's 2nd year, also changed.
We were very lucky this year that the Provost of Trinity, Dr. Prendergast, offered out his facilities here, which you can see are absolutely fabulous. We have one of the biggest committees in the country. We have 27 on the committee, but as you can see, we all work together very closely and in harmony to produce what has been seen here today.
The services involved here today was An Garda Síochána, the National Ambulance Service, Dublin Fire Brigade represented the Local Authority Fire Service, and the voluntary services were here today. Declan Keogh for Emergency Times News at Trinity College, Dublin.